Hello! Today I will be talking about dropping your story, your history, the story you have about yourself, the story you have about who you're supposed to be, and the story you have about why you are not that. I invite you to really explore a story. Like if you have a story that perhaps you grew up in a certain circumstance that made you feel unloved, or that's the story you have anyway, that the situation made you feel something. And instead explore, like, what if that's not the reason? What if the reason, what it's actually happening right now, and the thought about what happened in the past is just your motivation for sticking or holding on to a certain way of being or feeling or experiencing life. And every time you try to interact with your memory of your past self, you only make that relationship to yourself stronger. What if you would start exploring yourself instead of from a place of I am wrong somehow, I should be something else? Explore who you really are right now. If you think that if only that didn't happen, I would have been happy. What makes you say that? What's going on inside of you? I mean, perhaps if you didn't have that thought, you would have been happy, but explore it. See, like, what makes you think that you're supposed to be happy right now? What makes you think you're supposed to be this person that you have in your mind, that this vision of the perfect self? Are humans perfect? Is that like a goal? Is that a thing? Is it possible to be perfect? And you might be saying, well, I don't expect perfection, but I just don't want to feel so depressed, for example. And have you actually listened to your depression? What is it trying to communicate to you? If you just slow down and spend a little bit of time, a little bit of patience with the feeling. And instead of being so sure of what the feeling is trying to tell you, actually explore it. And just stay with it for a few moments and just see. And if you say perhaps, oh, but I'm just sitting at home, I don't want to do anything, life seems terrible. Explore what it's like if you actually chose this experience of staying at home and not doing things from a place of choice. If you avoid social situations, what if you're making these choices from a place of power? If you actually just don't understand your needs, and that's why your interests, where your consciousness is drawn towards, is solitude or whatever it may be. And explore, like, what's it like to be here from our place of choice? Discover what you see about yourself. Like, why would I choose this? And just slow down. Something new is probably going to pop up. Because if the consciousness isn't constantly focused on resistance, saying a story about yourself, like, of course, I want to do all this and this and this. Just stop for a minute and see if that's actually what you want to do. And if you can't feel the choice in you, pretend that it's a choice. That you want to do whatever it is you're doing, that you want to feel whatever it is you're feeling. And see, why would I choose this? And see what comes up. Perhaps there's resentment for a relationship, for example, for how certain things are. Or a very common thing is the fear of the reactions if you express your emotions and thoughts truthfully. And don't project that fear then on other people, like they won't understand you or they will judge you, but instead see it like, I don't want this to happen. I want to keep this relationship, for example. I want to keep it the way it is. And that's your choice. You can't choose other people's reactions, thoughts and feelings. That's their freedom. That's them being them. Let them be themselves. And when you let them be themselves, you can be yourself. And you are yourself by strictly just exploring who you are. Say what's on your mind. Express your feelings. If this is too much for somebody or too little or the wrong kind of thoughts and emotions, don't you want to notice that friction between you? Like notice what the relationship truly is? What's actually going on? And when I say relationship, I can mean relationship to a person or a thing, a job, whatever. Like a relationship is you in regards to something else. And noticing this friction, that's where you actually find out who you are. And you might find out that you are in the wrong, perhaps. You might speak your truth in a relationship and they get upset and you realize, like, actually, when I really spoke my mind, I got a response to that, and that changed how I think and feel. And you will notice that you can actually grow from this. Whereas if you keep avoiding the friction, it's really hard to grow, at least through relationships. It's through that friction that you get to know yourself and the other person. So I invite you to just explore yourself from a place of, I choose this, and why do I choose this? What's the benefit? What am I avoiding? What do I want to avoid seeing as it is? And it might be, it's a nice place to feel like a victim, because then you can be perpetually on moral high ground. Like I just want everybody to feel good, and I want this and that. But that's like living in a fantasy. And that's not actually true, grounded into who you are. And you might then have judgments toward yourself. But that's okay. Judgments, don't judge your judgments. Allow them to be. Explore them and see what the purpose of your judgments are. That's when you will start noticing you'll be able to learn and grow from them. And you will be able to start thinking clearly. When you're not afraid of what might come up, when you actually consider situations or consider yourself. That's it for now. Thank you.